Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of What If Midoriya Had Boosted Gear. If you've missed any of the previous episodes, there will be a link in the description below. As always, this series was written by Micah Williams. All credit goes to him. If you like the series and want more, let me know by either hitting that like button or by saying so in the comments below and we'll get started. If you have any suggestions, please let me know either in the comments below or in my Discord server. Link to that in the description. Now let's get started. 2 days after the USJ incident, everyone in class is talking about the whole thing and the publicity they got from the attack. They are all shocked to see Aizawa walk into class covered in bandages. He then informs the class about the sports festival. After the explanation, Ida, Izuku, Bakugo, and Uraraka go to have lunch and talk about why they want to be heroes. After the day ends, the students of class 1A prepare to leave, but there are a bunch of students standing outside of their classroom door. Worried, Uraraka asks, "Why the heck are you all here?" Ida, in a demanding tone, asks, "Do you students have some sort of business with our class?" Mineta, scared, says, "Why are you blocking our doorway? I won't let you hold us hostage." Bakugo, in a calm tone, says, "They're scouting out the competition. We're the class that survived a real villain attack. They want to see us with their own eyes." He turns to the crowd and continues, "At least now you know what a future pro looks like. Now move it, extras." Izuku says, surprisingly calm, "It's refreshing to see you not yelling all your words for once." Pissed off, Bakugo shouts, "I'm always calm!" A boy with purple hair makes his way to the front of the crowd and says, "So this is class 1A. Huh. I heard you were impressive, but you just sound like an ass." Izuku then notices a boy with silver hair with a smug look and giving off an ominous aura. Dreg then says, "I thought I was feeling a strange aura coming from the school. Long time no see, Albion." A boy from class 1B, that in this version is replacing Kosei Tsuburaba, walks towards the class. The boy then says, "So you're the Red Dragon Emperor, huh? Pretty weak. I'm going to have fun crushing you in the sports fest. By the way, the name is Valley Lucifer, also known as the White Dragon Emperor, and this is Albion." Two wings sprout from his back that are white and bright blue. Albion then speaks. "Hello, Dreg. I'll have you know that Valley is the strongest white dragon to ever have lived. I'm not exaggerating. You have the power of the previous users yourself." Izuku, very dumbfounded, looks at his arm and asks, Dreg? Who the hell is that? Who the hell is Albion and how do you know him?" Dreg then says, "I've got a lot of explaining to do." Izuku says, "Damn straight." The whole hallway is pretty much speechless as they look at Valley and Izuku. Valley then walks away and everyone eventually disperses. Later, we cut to Izuku looking at his arm in his bedroom, and he asks, "So Dreg, what the hell was that?" Dreg explains, "Well, this is a long story, but might as well start at the beginning. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, when I still had my body, me and Albion were rivals. We were so powerful that even the gods feared us. We caused so much, sealed us into different sacred treasures. I was sealed into the boosted gear, while Albion was sealed into dividing." Izuku says, "What is a sacred gear? And don't even speed past the fact that you said you were sealed by a frickin' god." Dreg answers Izuku's question. "Well, sacred treasures are basically devices that give humans, gods, and fallen angels different abilities. They're a lot more powerful than quirks." Izuku asks, "So what does that mean? Am I quirkless?" Dreg answers again, "Well, technically yes, but your boosted gear is stronger than any quirk you could have ever gotten." Izuku thinks for a moment and says, "All of this is making my head hurt, but you said fallen angel, isn't that a Manos quirk?" Dreg says, "Angel. I'm not sure what her intentions are, but you should keep an eye out. Izuku says, got it. But that Valley guy gave me the chills. Why is that? Dreg says, yes, he is quite strong and it appears he has unlocked his balance breaker already. Izuku asks, what's a balance breaker? Dreg answers Izuku's question yet again. It's when you unlock the full potential of your sacred treasure. The particular balance breaker for you and Valley shared is called Scale Mail. This ability lets you boost constantly without the 10-second time limit. Izuku says, but I can already do that. It just drains me quicker. Dreg says, with your Scale Mail boosting like that, it wouldn't drain you as quick, and your base stats would be boosted by a crazy amount. It wouldn't drain you as quick, and your base stats would be boosted by a crazy amount to begin with. Izuku says, wow, I can't wait to face him in the sports festival. Izuku spends the next few weeks training. His training gives him a bunch of new skills we will see throughout the sports festival. Now, the fun begins. The beginning of the sports festival was pretty much the same, so we are going to skip straight to the first event, which is the 4-kilometer race. Everyone gets into position for the event. As the event starts in the commentator's booth, President Mike asks Aizawa what you would be looking for in these early stages of the race. Aizawa then says, the door. Valley with his wings, as this is said, he flies at about light speed, so he clearly takes the lead. Yuma sprouts her wings and follows suit, but she isn't even close to Valley's speed. He finishes the race in less than a second. Everyone's task is now to come in at least second place. Izuku already thinking he had boost 12 times before the event. He rushes past everyone, destroying the robots in his path. He runs past one of the robots. He uses a new technique he calls Overload, which is an ability that gives more boost than an object or person can handle to said object or person. This ability doesn't fatigue Izuku at all, so he uses it on multiple robots, taking them out in seconds. Izuku on the ground is somehow keeping up with Yuma, who is flying. He eventually arrives at the second obstacle, the canyon, at this point having 20 boosts built up. Without slowing down, he jumps into the air, clearing a quarter of the jump before landing on some of the ropes. He uses the rope as a ricochet, which sends him flying into the air. There he is neck and neck with Yuma. He then aims him. With the potency of the explosion giving him a huge speed boost, he completely clears the canyon and most of the minefield. Izuku, as he is losing altitude, gets kind of nervous and yells, "Dreg, 3 boosts, now!" Sassy Dreg says, "So demanding." Izuku says, "Dreg, you mother... Boost! Boost! Boost!" Izuku thinks, this should soften my landing a little. Izuku then straightens his body, kind of nosediving at a slant. He uses his momentum mixed with his added durability to tuck and roll. With his speed, he easily runs to the finish line, barely able to beat Yuma. So the placing now is Valley first, Izuku second, Yuma third, Bakugo fourth, mainly because he is stronger than in the original timeline, and then Todoroki fourth. Now, during the cavalry battle, Izuku's team is him, Yuma, and Uraraka. And is for Yuma and Uraraka to be the riders, and Uraraka is supposed to make everyone weightless so that they can zip around and steal a bunch of headbands. Valley's team is going to be him and one other student, Sen Kaibara. They really only rely on Valley's quirk, so they just stay in the air the whole time. After the end of the second round, Team Valley ended first, Midoriya second, Bakugo's fourth, Todoroki's fourth, and since the people passing the next round are not enough to fill the whole bracket, 3 people from Shinso's group are brought up. These being Shinso, Ojiro, and Ningeki Shoda, who both forfeit their spots, getting replaced by Tetsu and Ibara Shiozaki like in the main continuity. The matches are going to be rearranged a little. They aren't completely different, but they're not the same either. The first match is won super easily by Izuku. As soon as they say go, Shinso gets completely blitzed by Izuku, who has now boosted 32 times, and pushes Shinso out of bounds. The second match is Todoroki vs. Zero. It goes the same as in canon, with Todoroki freezing Zero in place extremely quickly. The third match is Valley vs. Kaminari. This is a pretty quick match. Valley activates his wings. Midnight says go! The moment the match starts, Valley flies at Kaminari so fast. Kaminari didn't even realize he moved until he feels a punch from Valley's connect, hitting him right in the nose. Kaminari is sent flying. He then stands up, wiping the blood from his nose, and asks, "Is that all you got?" Kaminari then feels another punch as he's preparing to use his quirk. This time the punch is to the gut. Then another, then another, then another. He's punched over and over by Valley until he is driven, passing out. Valley says, "I bet you were pretty strong, but sadly, not a match for me." Seeing Valley beat Kaminari to a pulp pisses Izuku off. The next match is Ida and Yuma. The match starts and Yuma flies into the air as fast as she can. She summons a light spear, throws it at Ida, causing him to jump back. She then summons another one, causing him to jump back again. She continues to do this, forcing him to the edge of the arena. She then flies in, kicking his chest, pushing him out of bounds. Next match is Tetsu against Ibara. The match begins and Ibara sends her vines in order to restrain Tetsu. He, however, keeps on walking, destroying the vines as they grab him. He eventually gets close enough and clobbers her over the head, knocking her out. The next match is Ashido vs. Yaoyorozu. In this match, Yaoyorozu takes a defensive approach, whereas Ashido goes on the offensive, forces Yaoyorozu out of bounds, winning the match. Then it's Kojima vs. Sen. Sen is a Class 1B student who has the ability to rotate his limbs at incredible speeds, essentially turning them into drills. The match begins and Sen starts bashing against Kirishima and evading his attacks. Eventually, Kirishima loses his durability and Sen manages to throw him out of bounds, essentially doing what Bakugo did in canon. Last, it's Bakugo vs. Uraraka, which goes the same as in canon, with Bakugo winning the first round. The second round begins with Izuku against Todoroki. This match is quite different from normal canon. At this point, Izuku has accumulated 67 boosts. He looks at Todoroki and says, "Look, man, I know you don't use your flames in combat, but you're going to need to if you want a chance to beat me." Todoroki brushes off the comment and shoots a wave of ice in Izuku's direction. Izuku jumps out of the way, shoots a wave of ice in Izuku's direction. Izuku jumps out of the way and is in Todoroki's face in less than a second. He then grabs Todoroki by the collar and throws him into the ice. Todoroki gets back up and says, "Don't play with me, I'll win." Izuku says, "Maybe you could if you weren't fighting at half your strength. And I'm not ending this match until you go all out." Todoroki says, "You'll lose then." Izuku says, "Drake, shoot." He shoots his attack at Todoroki. If you're wondering, Dragon Shot is a weaker version of the explosion attack, one that can be used in a normal battle, without the fear of vaporizing the opponent. Todoroki then puts up a pillar of ice to block it. Boost. Izuku says, "Drake, pause the count." Drake says, "Fine, but what are you planning?" Izuku says, "I'm going to make him use his full power." Izuku runs around the pillar, kicking Todoroki to the other side of the arena. Izuku says, "Everyone is giving their all and you think you're going to half-ass this?" Todoroki responds, "You have no idea what you're talking about." Izuku asks, "You want to win this fight?" Todoroki, shocked, asks, "What type of question is that?" Izuku shouts, "That's a yes or no question, Todoroki." Todoroki says, "Yes." Izuku says, "Well, you're not going like this. This is your quirk. Who gives a damn what Endeavor thinks about it?" With that, Todoroki activates his fire and attempts to do the same move he did in canon, but Izuku, with overwhelming speed, punches Todoroki in the stomach, sending him flying out of bounds. Izuku says, "Good job, Todoroki." The next match is Valley vs. Yuma. The match begins and Yuma makes a light spear, but before she can react, Vali flies after her, then slams her into the ground. He lands next to her, whispering in her ear, "Wow, Rainer Azazel made you seem so dangerous. Pity." Yuma says, "Shut up." As she says this, she swings her spear, causing Vali to fly back. Yuma flies at Vali when she hears his wings call out, "Divide." Her spear disappears. Vali then flies at her, slamming his knee into her face. He darts to the left, then flies back, punching her in the face. She is sent flying again. She regains her composure in the air and summons 2 light spears and screams, "Damn you, Vali!" As she shoots them at him. Divide. The spears disappeared, and it seems as though Vali is even quicker than before. As he lets out a barrage of punches and kicks, uses his overwhelming speed to knock her back and forth in the air over and over before he sends her barreling into the ground. He lands on the ground and says, "Rainer, get up and fight." Yuma struggles to stand up to her feet before she spitting out blood. She says, "That's not my name." Vali responds, "You're a terrible liar." He continues to let off this terrible beating on her. He only stops when threatened to be disqualified, so the match ends. Next match is Ashido against Tetsu. The match begins and Ashido starts skating around with her acid, shooting acid at Tetsu as she goes along, breaking through his iron defense. Having the speed and having taken away her opponent's strength and defense, she rushes in, landing the knocking blow. Ashido passes to the next round. Next, it's Sen versus Bakugo. The match starts and Bakugo goes on the offensive, driving his opponent further and further to the edge of the arena with his explosions. Once Sen is close enough, Bakugo fires a huge explosion, throwing Sen out of bounds. Bakugo managed to win, thanks to his mid-range attacks. Next fight is Vali versus Izuku. Something I forgot to mention is that Izuku pauses his boosts every once in a while, so he doesn't hit his limit before the match starts. Izuku now has 80 boosts and is pissed at Vali. Once they meet in the arena, Izuku says, "I'm going to beat you just as bad as you beat Kaminari and Yuma." Vali retorts, "Doubt it, but bring it on." Dreg says, "Be careful, Izuku, he's very strong." With a serious look in his face, Izuku says, "I know." When the match starts, Vali tries to punch him, but Vali easily dodges the attack and then kicks Izuku in the face. Izuku quickly recovers and tries to land another punch, but misses again. He then feels Vali's elbow slam into the back of his head. Afterwards, Vali grabs Izuku's ankle and flings him across the arena. Dreg says, "You're letting your emotions control you. Get a hold of yourself. Use that analytical brain of yours." Izuku takes a breath and says, "You're right." Dreg says, "I know." Izuku then lifts his gauntlet in the air and yells, "Dragon's Minefield!" The orb that normally comes out of his gauntlet when he uses explosion or dragon shot ability comes out. Then another, then another. At ridiculous speeds, these orbs leave his gauntlet and start spreading across the arena. Vali says, "Minefield, huh? Cool, but I can see them, and they're on the ground. I can just fly over them." Vali flies over the orbs. So focused on the ones follow him, he doesn't even realize there is one in front of him that ends up blowing up in his face, sending him falling back down to the ground. The orbs that were following him then blow up, and all you see is a cloud of smoke. Once the smoke clears, Izuku is shocked to see Vali in a white suit of armor. He lands on the ground and his armor disappears from his body. Vali says, "You made me use my balance breaker. I guess I underestimated you." Izuku says, "You should have kept it on. There are still mines on the field." Vali says, "Maybe, but I'm not humoring you anymore." Albion then calls out, "Divide!" and all of the mines disappear. Izuku says, "Damn it!" Vali says, "You're quite powerful now that you have boosted so many times, but no worries. They then hear a loud divide. Then Izuku feels exponentially weaker. Izuku is now forced to go on the defensive. Worried, he asks Dreg, the hell did he just do to me? Dreg answers, it seems he has divided the amount of boost you have built up and absorbed it for himself. Izuku asks, how is that fair? Dreg says, it isn't. Izuku then feels the strongest punch he has ever received connect with his cheek. He is sent flying across the arena. He digs his claws into the cement, slowing him down. And Izuku shouts, Dreg? Boost. Izuku says, gee, thanks, but I need more, fast. Dreg asks, you mean? Izuku says, yes, thanks. Valley kicks Izuku in the side again, sending him flying. He struggles to stand. When he does, he says, that'll definitely a broken rib or two. Dreg now. Dragon Booster, second liberation. Izuku feels a massive boost in power, one even greater than before in fact. It is more power than he has ever felt before. This causes his gauntlet to change again. It now has a second gem and is covered with a bunch of more spikes, now covering his whole arm. Izuku says, bring it on, Valley. As Valley begins to jet towards Izuku, Izuku says, Red Dragon style, Emperor's Flame. Valley barely dodges and lands and asks, what the hell was that? Izuku answers, I boosted my quirk gene temporarily, and if I did develop a quirk, it would give me pyrokinesis, so this is my fire attack. Pretty cool, huh? Valley says, you're quite the creative one. Izuku says, gee, thanks, but you're still going to lose. Valley smirks and says, sure. Valley tries to punch him, but Valley manages to dodge, then kicks Izuku in the back of the head. Izuku grabs Valley's ankle and slams him into the ground. Valley then jets into the air. He then begins to speak. Every time I divide one of your attacks, I send the energy into my wings, or my physical strength, but like you, I can use that energy to make an energy blasts. Izuku cuts him off. Yeah, pretty boy whatever. Dragon shot! Valley snickers before Albion calls, reflect! A weird looking circle appears in front of Valley and it seems that it absorbs Izuku's attack. Then it is shot right back at him. Izuku tries to get out of the way, but the shock wave still hits, sending him flying again. As he gets back up, Izuku says, damn, did he just use my own attack against me? Valley says, well, did he just use my own attack against me? Valley says, well, yes I did. Izuku says, you smug bastard, I can't wait to knock that look off your face. Dreg says, we're at the disadvantage here. Izuku says, I know, but what can we do? Before Izuku can react, Valley appears in front of him and punches him in the stomach. He then divides Izuku's power and kicks Izuku in the side. Valley then says, what was it you called the move? Oh right, Dragon Shot. Valley then appears in front of Izuku and fires the blast point blank to Izuku's chest, sending him flying out of the arena. But right before he falls out of bounds, Valley grabs him by his hair and says softly, so no one else could hear, there's a traitor in your class. Keep an eye out. I wouldn't want my rival to die, now would I? Oh, and before we clash again, get stronger. You can start by unlocking your balance breaker. Valley then drops the half unconscious Izuku, letting him drop on the grass, and if something wasn't broken in his body before, it definitely is now. The next match is Ashido against Bakugo. This fight goes on rather quickly, with Bakugo venting his frustration on Ashido and defeating her fairly quickly. She didn't stand a chance. Now it's the finale, with Valley fighting Bakugo. The fight starts and Valley does not activate his wings. Bakugo says, I'm going to make you pay for what you did to that loud mouth. Valley says, my business was with the Red Dragon, and I'm not interested in fighting you. Bakugo shouts again, with this Red Dragon crap. What does it even mean? Vali says, that's for him to explain. Vali then turns around and walks out of the arena, but blasts out the arena to attack Vali, shouting, "You damn idiot, I'll kill you!" Vali activates his wings, but before either of them could do anything, Midnight and Cemento step in to intervene. After this, everything goes pretty much the same. Bakugo comes in first, and he's chained up, while Vali is in second. Izuku in third, tied with Ashido, but Izuku wasn't on the podium because he was knocked out and getting treated by Recovery Girl. I do hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did and want more, as always, make sure to smash that like button or let me know in the comments below. As always, credit for this video goes to Micah Williams for writing it. If you have any suggestions, let me know either in the comments below or in my Discord. That's it for me for today. I do hope you all enjoyed. Until next time, everyone. Bye!